welcome to Nana's Crafty Home. My name is Tanya. Today's tutorial is going to show you how to crochet the linked half double crochet stitch. You can see here in this cowl that I designed how interesting the texture is for this. It's a simple variation of a half double crochet. You're basically linking two stitches together, which eliminates the gap that you typically would see in a half double crochet stitch. It creates the really interesting kind of dense fabric. You don't see the larger gaps between the stitches, so it does create a really nice fabric, perfect for a lot of different applications. But again, very simple variation of a half double crochet stitch. This is a new pattern that will be released in the next few days, so make sure and check back on the blog for that free pattern. And for today's tutorial, I'm going to be using the Lion Brand Mandala Ombre yarn and the recommended hook size H 5.0 millimeter crochet hook for this tutorial. So let's go ahead and get started. When you're working a linked half double crochet stitch, you're going to start a foundation chain of any number of chains plus one for your foundation chain. So to get started with this stitch, I have chained 24 plus one for my foundation chain. So I have a total of 25 chains here on my hook. So I'm going to start by working in that second chain and then finishing my stitch in the third chain from the hook. So to get started, we're going to insert our hook in the second chain from our hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, leaving 2 loops on our hook, inserting our hook into the third chain. So the very next chain, I'm going to insert my hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook, which is what I would have for a traditional half double crochet, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on my hook. Now to work the next linked half double crochet, I'm going to be starting it in this half double crochet that I just worked. And so I'm going to be inserting my hook into this vertical bar. So you can see here, this half double crochet, there's the 3 loops right here. You can see the 3 loops in the front of your stitch. Inserting your hook into the vertical bar of the stitch you just finished, yarning over, pulling up a loop, inserting your hook into the next chain, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through all 3. So that is your linked half double crochet, inserting your hook into that vertical bar, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, inserting your hook into the next chain, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through all 3. So you're going to continue that same process through the end of your chain. I've worked my linked half double crochet through the end of the chain. I'm going to turn for row 2 and chain 2. That chain 2 is not going to count as my first stitch, but I'm going to begin working that first linked half double crochet through my second chain and then finishing it at the base of that chain 2 in the same stitch. So I'm going to be inserting my hook into a loop of that chain 2, and my chain 2 is here. So if I were to pick up both loops, I would have inserted here, but I'm just going to insert my hook into one loop, the front loop of that chain 2, yarn over and pull up a loop, and then at the base of that chain 2 in that same stitch, insert my hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then I'm going to repeat the same process that I did before, inserting my hook into that vertical bar, the last bar, the end of my stitch from my linked half double crochet I just worked, yarning over, pulling up a loop, and then working the last part of my stitch in the next stitch, yarning over, pulling up a loop, yarning over, pulling through all 3. And then I'll just repeat those steps through the end of row 2. and row 2 is my repeat row. So I'm going to be repeating row 2 to the size desired or the size indicated in my pattern. So I've gone ahead and worked up a sample for you. I've done several rows, and you can see the beautiful gentle texture that this stitch has. It's very flat, yet it still has almost a subtle ribbed appearance because of that back loop from that half double crochet, but there's no gaps in between the stitches. You can see that they're linked together, which creates a denser fabric without those gaps. And I think it's just lovely and would work for a lot of different applications. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. Thanks so much for being with me. As always, remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you never miss a new video. You can also find me on Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, and Instagram. You can reach out to me with an email at nanascraftyhome@gmail.com if you ever have any questions about any of my patterns or tutorials. Again, thanks so much, everyone. I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.